Alright, so I made the cookie jar portion, the body of it at least. And now I need to make a lid, keep things fresh, also some little style points. So what I want to do is I want to take a lid master. You can take calipers as well. Reverse these. So I'm going to measure the inside of my lid seat here. So inside the lid seat is where I want it to sit. So I'm going to measure right inside there. Okay, where it barely touches. So I know my lid needs to be that wide. Or if you want to use the same side and don't want to have to think about the dynamics of this brilliant tool, that's fine. But my lid needs to be exactly that wide when I make it, because I measured the other side like this. You can do this with chopsticks with a nail in it, all kinds of different things, but calipers work just as well. So I'll set this to the side. Set my lid master to the side without touching it, moving it. Now I'm going to start with a little less than 3/4 of a pound. Okay, and that might be a bit much, but I'd rather have too much than too little. Because if I don't make the span of that, the width of it, I'll have to do this over again. So again, I'd rather start with a little too much. So as always, I'm going to center, same as I always do, elbow in, using the L shape of my hand. Okay, this little L shape here. We'll push down, get it compressed to the wheel so it doesn't fly off. Okay, then I'm going to cone up. Just a little bit, it's a small amount of clay. Cone down, cone back up, cone down. And then I want to hold nice and still when I get it there, and always let go slowly. So the recessed lid is going to come out wide as my pot. Maybe a little less, and I can bring some of the lip up and out eventually. But I need a handle to be able to grab that lid. So what I'm going to do, and I want my handle to be a little taller than this, so I'm going to center a little higher. Okay. I'm going to open just outside, so take some water off so you can see. But just outside here. And then I'm going to go straight down, and I'll have a little knob to hold on to, and then later I'll get into styling that knob. Put a little bit of water there, just like as if I was opening any other pot. There we go. Okay, and I want to make sure I leave plenty of space on the bottom so that I can trim later to make sure that I have a nice V shape underneath, or even a domed shape so that it can fit in there. But I want to be able to get rid of some clay to make some more room inside. So now I've opened down. I can thin that knob just a little bit. And we'll get into shaping the knob in just a minute, but I'll leave it really basic for now. Now, really important that I hold still so that this thing is more symmetric than it is now. So I'm gonna just have my elbows based on my body here, not locked in super tight. Just on my body, and I'm gonna open. Nice and slow but firm. I'm gonna go back and compress, make sure it's all level here. Kind of flattening that area out, just for style points. And again, I'll go back and I'll shape my knob later. So I'm going to get a measurement with my lid master. So already I'm a little big, so I could go in a little. Could go in like so. I could go up. In out if I wanted to. If I wanted a deep-seated lid. This is how you can get a really well-fitted lid into, say, a bulb or an orb, or what some people call a moon pot. Get a really deep lid. I learned that from one of my college professors. Shout out to John Hopkins. He was notorious for these, really good guy. Really talented potter as well. Wasn't an official student, but still got to learn from the guy. Very, very talented guy. Okay, so I just trimmed a little bit off the bottom. I'm going to take a measurement again. I don't want that deep-seated of a lid. I just wanted to be able to show you. So right now I still need to go in a little bit. So I'm going to take my needle tool and I'm going to chop quite a bit of this off. I could do it from this side if I wanted to. I can do it from this side, doesn't matter, whatever you're more comfortable with. This is just more visible to me. Okay, so cut it all the way through, just need a little slice. I had way too much clay for my Lid Master measurements. And I'm just kind of lifting that but cleaning it, and I'm going to end up cutting a little bit more of that off. This time I'm just going to shorten my walls. I don't need that much. Sometimes you can nail this on the first try and that's fine. But just for the sake of examples here, and the fact that it's a little bit of guesswork here, usually I use about a half a pound, but I just wanted to make sure for the sake of the video that I made it and didn't have to go grab new clay and start a new video. Okay, so I'm going to take measurements again. So I'm a lot closer, but I don't have any edge to this at all. So I could take my modeling tool, like say this was, actually I'll take it back to that in a second. If it was flat, I could kind of tilt it up. Or I could take this, like right now it has nowhere to sit in the lid seat. This is just kind of vertical. I could trim it back, either now with the modeling tool or on the trimming wheel with whatever trimming device you like. I would use a ribbon tool, or I could tilt this out a little bit so that it will sit in this little lid seat here on my cookie jar. So measure again. Right there is pretty dead on. What I like to do, just to err on the side of caution, especially if I'm making quite a few of these, is I like to go a little further than I'm supposed to. Reason being is that I can't ever add more clay after I've cut this off the wheel, and if I do, I could add little knobs or something, but I can't add something that's as round and symmetric as this. I mean, yes, you can get creative, but I couldn't just add something as precise as it is right now, as machined, if you will, on the potter's wheel. So, and if there is, there's always a way, but I always like to add a little extra or have a little too much, because I can trim that back a little bit after I find out if it sits in there, especially like right now I just made the cookie jar, so I know my measurements are going to be similar, because the only thing that's going to be off moisture-wise or moisture level-wise is that I added a little bit more water to this one than I did to that one. So that's about the only thing. So this may shrink a tiny bit more, but that's why I like a little extra on the sides, so I can always take a ribbon tool. Let's see if I have a ribbon tool here, or a loop tool, and I could just kind of trim back. Not right now, but once it's leather hard, I could trim back a little bit and make it fit, rather than it be too short and it falls inside. There's no real way to compensate for that. So now I'm going to focus a little bit on the knob, and you can get really meticulous and detailed with the knob. You got to be careful because I've already thinned this out, so it's going to want to wiggle on me a little bit. So I support it with the other hand. So you can take a look, get rid of some of this water inside. I'll push that in just a little bit more. Okay, and I may want to thin this out, but I don't want it to be fragile later, so I won't thin it too much. kind of go over my compression on the bottom and just make sure it's nice and fluid as far as my knob goes. And so today, I'll trim down here with the modeling tool, but I'm going to trim more tomorrow. So notice I use the popsicle stick side to get under a slant, and then I'll use the blade side just to trim back a little bit and give me a place to place my cutting wire. So today I'm pretty much finished with this. This is one of few lids that you throw right side up. The inset lid is thrown upside down. A few other styles of lids. This one in a dome lid, or basically an upside down bowl, both thrown upside down. This one's thrown right side up. But tomorrow I would take this off after it gets the leather hard, maybe even later this afternoon. I'll flip it over and just trim either a V shape. You can get nifty with the foot if you really want it, but it kind of takes up space inside the pot. Or you can go completely round as long as your lid seat over here, your shoulder, fits into your lid seat on your cookie jar. Okay, so that is the recessed lid.